more on the escalating conflict, let's bring in retired Army Colonel Jack Jacobs. He is an NBC News military analyst. And Colonel Jacobs, thank you for being here today. When you hear the president or you see the president tweeting that we are locked and loaded, what does that mean? You think we're headed to war?
Well, it doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, we are always locked and loaded. We have an entire fleet in the Mediterranean. We have a fleet just off the Gulf. We have satellite imagery. We have a great deal of capability in the region and can launch an attack on anybody from there at any time, but we're not doing it. And this administration has been reluctant to counter any moves by adversaries. And one of the reasons that you don't see John Bolton in the White House anymore is because he advocated a strenuous response against Iran, and the White House is not very much interested in doing it.
We just heard from Hadley Gamble. She was reporting, I believe, the Saudi perspective on this, that the U.S. at this point is all talk and no action. You think that's the case, or does this really push our hand?
Yeah. No. We like to talk a lot, but we're not acting, certainly not in a military way. I think the administration would like to resolve things because we're moving into an election period, want to see the economy get pumped up a bit, and going to war is disadvantageous to all those, to both of those objectives. We have been trying to use diplomacy, and we have been trying to use economic means, and still haven't used the entire panoply of methods we could use economically. I mean, we haven't squeezed Iran to the extent economically that we really can.
Although economically Iran is suffering, which is probably why you see them acting out in more ways.
There's no doubt about it, because if we really wanted to push them into a corner, we could. We haven't squeezed any of the nation states, including our allies, who go around the restrictions on Iran and deal with them in any case. So there's lots more that can be done, but I don't think the administration wants to do any of that. I think the administration does not want to get involved in a shooting war. But by the way, I think there are going to be some incidents in the Gulf, to be sure, but I don't think the administration wants to use the military instrument of power.
Jack, just speaking about the drones, I mean, you think of drones and you think of those little kind of whining, tiny things that you could swat away. We're talking about a very different scenario here.
Yeah, drones come in all sizes and shapes and capabilities, and they don't just include the little hobby drones. And they also, at the other extreme, and not necessarily the Reaper-sized drones, there are lots of them, and they can be acquired just about anywhere. Indeed, the Houthis have already demonstrated the capability of putting their own together. This is not really complicated technology. What is interesting here is the coordinated nature of the attack and launches from a wide variety of places, not all of them, none of them in Yemen, some of them undoubtedly from Syria and possibly Iran. So the technology itself is not very sophisticated, but the coordination of the attack is very much sophisticated.
But do you agree with Mike Pompeo's assessment that Iran is behind this?
Well, there's very little doubt about it. Yeah. The Houthis don't do anything by themselves and on their own. They are a proxy for Iran in the continuing proxy war in the Middle East between Iran and Saudi Arabia for control of hearts and minds and economies. No, Iran's almost undoubtedly behind it all.
Colonel Jacobs, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.